Welcome back to the Keeping It Real show. This is Antoine, and today's topic is one that's very dear to me. We're going to be talking about HIV. I don't know why in 2011 that HIV is still a topic that people, have a hard time talking about. I'm going to give an insight of how HIV is brought amongst, certain individuals, and how people can protect themselves from the virus. A lot of people don't know that half of the new HIV cases here in the United States are with African Americans. A lot of people don't know that. And also, what a lot of people don't know, out of that amount, male seeking males, or men seeking men, or however you want to call it, whether they're DL, bisexual, gay, what have you, make up half of that amount. And that is crazy because the openly gay percentile in the United States is only 2 to 3% of the population of the United States. So that's pretty big, especially for the African American community. That being said, there are different reasons, that HIV has become rampant in our community. First of all, just to let you guys know, give you a little background, I am a certified HIV counselor and tester. This is what I do. I'm going by some factual stuff, like what I just gave you, that's there at cdc.gov. All of the information is there. And also from what I see when I go out in the field and I do testing and do lectures and the classes that I do, it's factual, it's there. And I have come up with certain reasons, that I see that are the cause of the rise of HIV in our community. The first thing is, I had a dear friend of mine also realized that with the elderly, the older people, there's a rise in HIV. And she wanted me to speak on that. And a lot of people don't know that the elderly are actually the fastest rising population for STDs, believe it or not. And the reason for that, one of the main reasons, I'm sorry about that, is for Viagra. Viagra came on the scene. You had elderly men who felt, like, hey, I haven't been able to do certain things in so long. Now I have this medication I can take, and I can go out, have sex with whomever, and it's not a big deal. And that's what, has been happening. You have to understand, a lot of older people, were out and about and had their sexual prime before HIV, was here, and then they come up and get the little blue pill, and then a few others now that are out on the market, and they have sex. And the thing is, they aren't educated on how to protect themselves, and they're not educated on STDs and HIV, because we know as of 40 years ago, they didn't worry about any of those things. They were easily given a shot of penicillin, and that was it. They were able to clear up whatever the STD was at that time and call it a day. Well, now it's a totally different story. The education part, when you have people who are set in their ways, who don't like change, it's very hard to try to teach them new things. We know that, hands down. It's very hard to try to teach them new things. but it needs to be done. It needs to be done. For example, from seeing this, with my own eyes, you'll have these elderly guys go out and do prostitute or get prostitutes or what have you, or people in the neighborhood and women in the neighborhood, and at certain times of the month they get their social security checks or the disability checks, what have you, and they go out and they have Viagra because their doctor has prescribed it for them, and then they end up having sex with these women, and they're prostituting and not protecting themselves, and let alone the prostitutes are not protecting themselves either. So that also is a way that the HIV virus is being transmitted with the elderly. Also, economic times, believe it or not. I'm just keeping it real. That's what I do. Especially with the way the economy is now, you have people out there selling themselves, whether it's porn, whether it's doing promiscuous things, whether it's prostitution, and that goes on both sides, male or female. It's very bad, and people in 2011 still aren't protecting themselves, and it's very, very sad. It is very sad. But I mean, as more and more education happens with individuals, then you would think that they're being changed, but actually it's not. In those two, in the male-seeking male or gay, bisexual community, and also with the elderly, that number is still rising every year, and that number between 14 and 24-year-olds has actually kind of, stayed the same. A lot of people don't know the city where I live, believe it or not, is Lakeland. I'm in Polk County, Florida. The statistics for us is that we're number 13 in the U.S. for new HIV cases. That's pretty sad. The South, for some apparent reason, is one of the most hard hit, with the HIV virus. Like I stated before, one of the reasons is lack of education. A lot of people don't know, and what people don't know, they think that if they talk about it, people are going to assume that, or maybe I'm wanting to know too much, or maybe I know someone who has it, or maybe, I think I have it, or whatever. It needs to be done. Everyone needs to be educated on HIV. Point blank, period. Doesn't matter. Also, another thing that increases the HIV rate is substance abuse and also alcohol abuse. When you use alcohol or any type of substance, illegal substance, then your judgment is kind of altered. And it's not kind of, it is. Your judgment is altered. And you get in these predicaments, say you're drunk and you end up having sex and you don't feel like going to get a condom, or I'm too drunk to put it on, whatever. Then you're putting yourself at risk. You're putting yourself at risk. That goes for male or female, because the girl, women also get drunk or high, whatever. Then say, that they get in a predicament or a situation where they are, forced to do something that they don't want to do, maybe raped or, or what have you. And say if the person had unprotected sex, well, regardless, wrong is wrong. But then, even if she was wanting to do it, your judgment is impaired when you have alcohol or drugs in your system when you take that step. Using with the teenagers, let me focus on that right quick. A lot of people don't know this, and I'm going to school you guys also. With ecstasy, it increases and it heightens the sexual, your libido. It heightens, the whole sexual act itself. you have young women who will, and I'm going to be frank, they insert the ecstasy tablet into their vaginal area or the anal area, and that way they feel as if they get a quicker and a more heightened sex drive. And that's what happens. It dissolves and it does this chemical thing, and so now you have these younger people doing ecstasy, which leads to having unprotected sex. But also they mainly put it in the rectal area, having anal sex. And it makes it easier for them, they say, to have anal sex. But we know one of, the number one way to contract the virus is through, having anal sex, because of, the tearing of the anal wall, the tissue around the anus. Trying to be as technical as possible here. They don't understand that that's a no-no, and if you're going to do that, protect yourself. It's that easy. But one of the other reasons that goes along with that is that there's a new thing going on, and this is for you parents out there, because a lot of the times parents don't know, but there's a new thing where young women are still wanting to be virgins. That's coming back. There was a time where girls were like, they couldn't wait to have sex, and guys couldn't wait to have sex. Well, now young women are starting to have anal sex, so technically they still can be, vaginally be virgins. But then again, they don't realize that the number one way of contracting the virus is through anal sex, and they're still having unprotected sex. That's very dangerous, and they're just going around, 3-4 years later, and then they get a husband, and they're saying, oh, I'm technically a virgin. And what if that person, what if she was HIV positive and she never knew, and she didn't think just because she had anal sex that she was at risk for the virus? Well, she was more at risk than someone who would have had vaginal sex. So that's going on. I see more. It's going on. It's pretty bad out there. It really is. But we just need to, educate everyone on the topic of HIV and protecting yourself. Also, why is HIV rising in the MSM community? This is the part where I really get candid. So, a lot of people like to hear me explain this, and it makes sense. And a lot of you will feel where I'm coming from. And then a lot of you, I know, will actually learn from what I'm about to say. But in the men seeking men, male seeking male, gay, what have you community, the reason why HIV is the way it is because of the internet. That is one of the main reasons. Back in the 80s and in the early 90s, you didn't have as much, access to the internet, so it was harder to find partners, and people were ducking and didn't want to, certain people to find or see them going in and out of gay clubs. But now it's actually totally different. You can get online and just type in anything, sexual hookup, or go to certain websites. I won't name them, but there are certain websites that men who seek men can go to and easily get a hookup. And the sites are free, and it's like 1, 2, 3, boom. You put on your profile what you want, and you do a search, and there you have it, sexual act. And another reason why in that particular community that HIV arises is because men now, the men who know how to I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it real. They know how to cleanse themselves. So you have the men who are the quote unquote tops, or the one who gives. Um, he's now mentally thinking, okay, well, now it's safer to have anal sex because I'm not gonna be afraid that the person, and I'm just being candid and I'm gonna keep it real. The person gonna, have an accident or shit on my dick, or they call it painting. So now that you have these other guys who are doing the receiving, knowing how to cleanse themselves, and they use things like, the number one thing they use is fleet enemas. They'll use the women products like dish or douche or however you pronounce it. They use different things to cleanse themselves, and what happens is, like I said before, the guys who are the tops, who are new school or just getting into the act of being comfortable with having sex with men, that's how they end up, one of the ways they contract it, because they don't use protection, and then they're feeling more and more comfortable to have anal intercourse with a male, because they think, oh, he's clean, he's done this procedure, I don't have to worry about him defecating on me, what have you. So that's another reason, and I just have to be candid. It is what it is. A lot of people won't say it, but I'm here to say it. Say it. It is what it is. Bars are, now you have gay bars everywhere. You also have, chat lines. There are different ways that the gay community has been able to access one another with no problem, and that's how the whole sexual thing comes along, and bringing in the substances and having unprotected sex and what have you, what goes along with that. Well, ways that I feel as if you can protect yourself or protect anyone from it is, the first thing is abstinence. People don't get to know someone before they have sex anymore. It's like, hey, I met this chick, boom, the guy and the girl have sex, or girl and guy, what have you. And for the record, yes, a lesbian can catch an STD from another lesbian. As long as you're exchanging bodily fluids, you can exchange an STD. Yes. And you can also exchange an STD by oral sex. I don't know why I was stuck just then. You can do it by oral sex. Just because a girl is giving you head doesn't mean that you can't contract an STD from her. Because this is a thing people tend to forget. When you brush your teeth, your toothbrush actually, it's abrasive, so it brushes your gums, and you have, it exposes your new cells to whatever. And for women, if you're doing things with a guy and giving him oral sex, and then he pre-comes, and what do you think those those secretions are going? They're in your mouth. They're swimming around in your mouth. So not just HIV. There's other STDs that you can get from oral sex also. So that's another thing people don't focus on. They think just because I'm giving, and that's just like for guys also. I'm sorry. If guys give oral sex, they can contract the same STDs that a girl can from giving or receiving oral sex. And people think just because, oh, she's clean, she doesn't have HIV, or he doesn't have HIV, or it doesn't look like they have HIV, that doesn't mean they don't have another STD. A lot of people don't know that the HIV virus is so small, anything, just one time, a guy, having foreplay with you, and he's pre-coming, and he's doing whatever, and in your vaginal area, and then you get excited, and then what have you, you're exchanging fluids, so you don't even have to have intercourse, and a lot of people don't know that. So I'm just here once again, keeping it real, trying to, school you guys. There are things, like I said, abstinence, and not even fully abstinence. I mean, because you can just get to know a person before you have sex. Get tested with the person. HIV tests are free these days, and they're anonymous. Get tested, and then once you get tested, then y'all go from there. Get tested twice. Get that first test, and then go back 30 days and get it again. And then, that's if you still want to have unprotected sex. Also, another way to prevent STDs is use condoms. And there are different types of condoms that you can use. There are, of course, we all know these types of condoms. They're little nothing. You can go to the health department if you can't afford them. They're free. I'm quite sure every city has a health department they can get them from. Women keep condoms also. I know it's a icky thing for some women to go in stores or get condoms, but when you do that, you empower yourself to be in control and be in control of your safety, because only you can look out for you. If he didn't feel like he needed to, he didn't want to go, oh, I forgot to get a condom. Well, you just say, well, player, here you go. I already got one. It's not that hard. I don't know why women are so shy to go in the stores and get condoms. They think it's a man thing to go get them. But what if he doesn't? And then you give in and have sex with him. And then you contract something. You can't blame anyone but yourself. And what if he didn't know? You can't blame no one but yourself. Also, another way a woman can be empowered, to take control in the act of sex is to use the female condom. You can get them from, you can buy them, but you can also get them from health departments also. And female condoms, for guys who don't like to wear condoms and you think, oh, it's too tight or condoms don't fit, they're too small or what have you, whatever the myth that guys use to convince women they can't use condoms. Well, if a woman uses a female condom, then what happens is a guy doesn't have to use a condom, and he doesn't use it, and that lets him feel like he's doing it raw. So it's a win-win situation. She knows that she's doing what she has to do to protect herself, and he gets his rocks off and he doesn't have to use a condom, but he's still protected from getting any STDs or giving someone an STD. And also it's a reason why the condoms are flavored. Flavored condoms are for oral sex. Yes, like I said before, you can contract STDs from oral sex. Any bodily fluid, like sexual bodily fluid, you can contract. The HIV virus lives in, especially semen and vaginal secretions. So if you're giving oral sex, then there are things for you, and I'll show you in a second. But for women, use a flavored condom. Especially if you don't know who the person is, and if you don't like it, then you don't put your mouth down there. Simple as that. For guys or for women or whomever is given anal sex, then there's a product called a dental dam that you use, and it's for anal or vaginal sex. They're flavored also. They come in different flavors like strawberry, grape, pineapple, and I don't know what flavor this one is, but this is the package it comes in. And it's made out of latex. This is a new one. And here it is. And it's flavored. Matter of fact, I'm going to see what it tastes like. Okay, that one's strawberry. So you just do what you need to do. You can use your own imagination. I don't have to explain it. But, there's things out there that you can also, you have people out there, I don't want to, guys, I don't want to, I don't like to go down. I don't like to do this. And your girl might like that. And one way to protect yourselves from STDs, once again, guys, boom, dental dam. Not a problem at all. And I know a lot of people didn't even know these things were made. But if you have any questions, I'm going to end this here. But if you have any questions, hit me up in my inbox, or any suggestions what I can do to enlighten and to teach you guys more about the virus. Then I'm here for you. I want to give a few shout outs though. One is to Mikkel and Kevin of the Scorpion Show. Whether they know it or not, they've kind of inspired me to get back on the ball and get back out here and do my YouTube show. It's been a year, so I'm back out. Here I am, full force. Every video I know it's going to get better and better, so I'm just here doing my thing, and I hope every time I'm here, I'm speaking to you guys. I hope you guys learn something. I hope I'm learning from you guys, so we'll just keep the ball rolling. Miss Bang, Shireen, you've been behind my corner. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for the topics. I can't wait. I'm doing big things, and I know you're going to be behind my corner pushing me to keep doing this. My cousin Reva, thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was just interrupted, but I'll address that afterwards. Vince here, my internet buddy, thank you so much for your inspiration. I'm still keep banging on your door trying to get information on how I could better myself, and thank you for all the advice that you've given me. Brandy, schoolmate, thank you. I am going to finish the book. This is actually helping me to be inspired to finish the book. I make sure you will be one of the first ones to get that unfinished copy because I'm still going to need your input. My kids, they're a big inspiration to me, and the reason why I do what I do. Every single one of them, love them equally, and I do appreciate them doing what they do. Shout out to you're welcome. Shout out to A Connections TV London from I So Love London. Kelly Rowland for doing her thing on the BET Awards. Lip synced or not, she still shut it down. Thank you for Facebook for letting me, express and do what I do on Facebook. I'm not up to Twitter yet. I just don't like telling people what I'm doing every 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 seconds. But I do like to post on Facebook, and I love the feedback on Facebook. I'm trying to decide if I want to put my Facebook information on my YouTube account so people can reach out, but I don't know just yet. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. And also YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for letting me have a voice and be able to express how I feel and bring other people's opinions to light on different situations, because if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't be able to do here. And then this newfound confidence, comes along with it. And for some apparent reason on my new notes here, my son Daniel wants to give Nicki Minaj a shout out. He likes her ass, so I'm just put it out there like that. But all right, thank you guys for listening. Let me know. We can make the show better, get bigger, and we'll go from there. Until next time, this is Antoine once again with the Keeping It Real show. Talk to you later. Bye.